have a good one for you today. The Avatar, the Kalki Avatar. From the gates of gold down to the pit of earth, out from the flaming fire down to the circle of gloom, rideth the secret Avatar bearing the sword that pierceth. Naught can arrest his approach, and none may say him nay. To the darkness of our sphere he rideth alone, and on his approach is seen the blackness mount upwards in dissipation. The noise discordant of the warring elements greets the oncoming one and deters him not. He passeth on his way, sweeping the circle of the spheres and sounding forth the word. This is ancient prophecy, and it's echoed in many great traditions. It's there in the Book of Revelations, it's there in the Tibetan and Buddhist prophecies. You know, the coming of these great beings, these great avatar of synthesis, who brings with them this massive transmutation. And I love these myths. The world savior. It's there in so many of the the Maitreya, the Kalki avatar, and the avatar comes riding on a white horse. And there's a mystery in this because the horse is a symbol of sacrifice, always has been, and the mystery is that the avatar is a being of such vastness that it's said that it cannot incarnate in a single human body. It would just blast that body into smithereens instantly, and it wouldn't be able to hold the frequency. So the avatar comes on a horse, and the horse is the sacrificial vessel. Those higher initiates, that group, that soul group, that give themselves to the avatar, that bow their head and say, "Come, inhabit us," so that it's the Christ consciousness, so that we may, so that your presence may transform the lower planes, and knowingly we will be shattered, and be shattered in your bliss by your divine Shakti. And so that's the soul group, that's the synarchy. That comes, that's the horse, and then the rider comes with his sword and these wonderful metaphorical images of the sacrificial horse in the final cycle, of humanity. And at the end of the Dark Age, which really refers to our time, really, we are the end of the Dark Age. The Dark Age is when humanity has completely forgotten our divine origins, and we're piecing it back together. But there's always the prophecy that at the end will come this great kind of stage where almost all the Buddhas come down into this being, and they all surrender themselves so that this great oversoul can come. And they say that it can only come as far as the mental plane. It couldn't come down into the astral plane, and it couldn't come down into the physical plane. It's too powerful. So it would shatter open the minds, and still the mind instantly, and then the remnants of that Shakti would just blast the lower planes, opening up the heart, transmuting the serpent energy of the astral plane, the Kundalini, so that it's just released from its cage of the body in the future age, and the restorer of the true race of humanity and the solar dynasty, and all this wonderful revelations, that you can read in the ancient scripts, and in the Kalachakra Tantra, which is the greatest of the tantras from Tibet. Again you have this Kalki Rudra possessed by the great wheel, bringing the wheel of Dharma, who just speaks, and puts an end to all the barbarian dharma, and creates samadhi just through his words, just through and there's a sword on his tongue in the Bible. It's called Melchizedek, a sword that comes on his tongue, and because when he speaks, then the words just shatter the illusion, and definitely something to consider. And of course, everyone wants to know, when's it going to happen? And it comes at the end of the Kali Yuga, and it's beginning now. It is beginning. It has already begun. It is a multi-generational explosion of siddhis. I call it the Siddhic supernova when it comes, and it will come, and pick up pace as it opens, as the flowers bloom, and the light will return.